That is definitely Star Wars, not Superman, but you get the point. Let's go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Fortnite. I wanted to talk a little bit about Superman in general, and I was like, you know what? I have the Superman skin in Fortnite, so let's talk a little bit about Superman. So, for me personally, Superman was never my favorite character. He was never been my favorite comic book character. I've always thought of him as like this perfect, goody two-shoes, superhero. The one loved by all. You could just call me Lex Luthor because I was jealous of the man because no one thinks of me that way. No, but that was just always my opinion growing up. I did watch Superman Returns back in 2006 in theaters. I remember doing that. And because my dad, he really loved and still loves Superman. But for me, when it comes to DC, Batman was always the one that I would, care about more. I don't know why. I still don't know why to this day. Maybe it's because it had darker themes, or I'm not sure. But nowadays, I like the vibrant aspects of Superman. The bright blue, the bright red, just being, and that, I think that's one reason why I really enjoyed James Gunn's new Superman movie. It was bright and cheerful and colorful, but also it did have some, heart and sad moments. But it was also bright. It reminded me of early comic book movies. Not early, like early 2000s comic book movies, like the Fantastic Four, which aren't, the pinnacle of amazing superhero movies, but it had a bright and cheery aspect. And with that, it like, you don't usually see that from DC. Like, even the animated cartoons with Justice League Unlimited, the original 2014 Titans, like, you would get darkness. Yes, there were some fun times as well, but it was a lot of darkness. And I know there are people that complain about the way that James Gunn's Superman is, just the, it being a little bit less serious. And for me, that's what I want. I don't always want to go into a comic book movie and be depressed, if that makes sense. I think the way that they did Superman this go round is phenomenal. I really enjoyed the lightheartedness of it, and I like the vulnerability of Superman in this movie. And that being said, I decided to, and I don't get me wrong, I did watch like Man of Steel, there we go. I did watch Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, all that stuff. I like Henry Cavill as Superman. I don't think he's a bad Superman at all. Like, I think he is a good Superman. But I also feel like this Superman, like, it gives me those feelings of Christopher Reeve, his Superman. And yes, there were obviously darker elements with Christopher Reeve as well, but that 70s original Christopher Reeve's Superman, like, just holds this place in so many people's hearts. And I was like, you know what? Let me rewatch it and see if it's as good as people say. because it's been a very, very long time since I watched the original Superman. That being said, I watched it today and had a really good time. My kids watched it with me too. I knew I was gonna lose. That's okay. I watched the original 70s Christopher Reeve Superman today for the first time in a very long time. If I even watched it fully before, I honestly can't remember. But watching it for the first time with my kids too was super cool, and they enjoyed it as well, even though it's obviously dated, weird green screens, and you know, one thing that my oldest daughter said to me was, "Why does he fly so slow?" Because obviously the technology then you couldn't really show them going fast, if that makes sense. There was a scene where Clark's running when he's in high school and it looks god awful, but like that's because it's a movie from the 70s. What do you expect, you know? There's movies nowadays that look worse, you know, like, oh my god, the Flash movie, the way that he ran in the Flash movie, ooh, god awful. So bad. I'm more interested in Superman now after watching James Gunn Superman. And like I said, I watched the first Superman movie with Christopher Reeve, and I plan on watching the rest of them. I hear 4 is god-awful, but I'm excited to try to, you know, dive in. And then eventually I'll probably rewatch Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition. I've never watched the Ultimate Edition. Apparently that one's a lot better editing wise and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I've been, and honestly growing up too, I've always been more of a Marvel guy. I loved Spider-Man, and I still love Spider-Man. And so when it came to the superheroes, for the most part, it was Batman for DC, Spider-Man for Marvel. I watched the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movies with my dad. Like, those were fun. Obviously, there's darkness in those as well, but it also had this weird campiness. But I've been really enjoying Superman, all because of James Gunn. And no, the movie isn't perfect, and it's so weird too, because I think when you see reviews or people talking about the movie in general, it's almost like we watch different movies, because there's some people that give it a 8, 9, or 10, and then there's some people that give it a 2, 3, or 4, and I'm like, are we sure we all watched the same movie? Because nowhere does it feel like a 2, 3, or 4 movie. Like, I don't think there's any way. And I know that, movies are subjective. Like, not everyone's going to have the same opinion. But it's weird to me that it's such a divide. But I think it's a lot of people not wanting change. Oh my god, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. Like that Michael Jackson song. Bad. Uh-oh. Those are obviously bots. I frickin' suck. Yeah. So yeah, personally to me, I really enjoyed it. There's weird CGI parts, like there's a scene with a fake baby, and it's all CGI and weird. But like that felt a little out of place. But for the most part, the storyline, the vulnerability of Superman / Clark is fantastic. I love the relationship of him and Lois, because Lois, to me, it just feels real. Like, obviously they have problems, but they're trying to, make it work for themselves, and I feel like that's super important. I'm like, I don't know. And Mr. Terrific was absolutely terrific. Literally. So much fun. I love that scene with the needle drop and the attacking everybody, and it was so freaking cool. And I liked this version of Green Lantern. I don't feel like I've seen this Green Lantern in a project before. Guy is the character's name. I was trying to find a car. Superman's call has appeared, but I'm already Superman. I have not done the Superman call. And for me, I would probably give it a 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a very fun movie. There's some people that complain that it seems like Superman was getting his butt kicked the whole time, but if you watch the movie, you'll understand why he did. But also, like, hasn't always been, hey, I could destroy everybody all the time. No, what's the point of a villain if they don't, like, cause a challenge? You don't want Superman to just go, let me defeat you, let me defeat you, let me defeat you. Oh, let's kill all these people with General Zod. Oh, never mind. Isn't that what happened in Man of Steel? Anyway. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, for me, Superman now has piqued my interest. So I was like, let's play a little bit of Superman. And I started downloading Injustice 2. So we're going to do a little bit of DC. Uh-oh. DC stuff. Wasn't there a chest over here? That was a level B? I don't remember exactly where it was. I think it was over here by these silos. Oh no, it was over there. Haha. Do. This Superman skin, I think, is awesome. But if he doesn't wear his cape, he looks ridiculous. So, if you put some sort of other back bling on him, it looks crazy. Uh-oh. Why am I getting stuck? I'm getting stuck on a tree. But here we are. Whoop. Let's see what we can get and be. Alright. Let's get the gloves. Ooh. Boom. There we go. And, oh. Players who attack you are marked. Lower cooldown. Okay. I haven't seen very many people this round, but last round I saw some people and I died, so that's about how it goes. Imagine Superman just going around with guns like this. That's such a weird thing, like, it's a funny thing about Fortnite to me. Like, seeing all these characters that would never fight like this. Uh-oh. Where are they? I want to get in a car. This is actually Kit, so it's a Firebird, like from Knight Rider, but I changed the color. It looks like a Hot Wheels car now. Oh, thank you, baby. Kyrie, my youngest, just said that she likes the car. Yeah, it looks like a Hot Wheels car to me. Personally, I like the 77 through 81 Firebird Trans Ams. This is closer to an 80s model, which I don't love nearly as much, but I still like them. So there's some shooty shoots going on. What's your opinion on the new Superman? Have you watched it, or have you kind of been turned off by the lightheartedness and the more comedic factor that James Gunn has created? Because for me, it does remind me of like the DC Guardians of the Galaxy, if that makes sense. There we go. Because that's how it feels to me. It has that Guardians of the Galaxy feel. It's not nearly as funny. Like, there are comedic elements in it. It can be a little bit more lighthearted, but it's definitely not like exactly like Guardians of the Galaxy. But I think you should give it a shot if you haven't. If you thought about it and you're like, I want to go see it, but I don't know if it's going to be any good. Go see it. There's one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, goodness. What is that? There's another. Oh, God. Oh, no, Superman got me. Anyway, thanks for coming around. I hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, I will see you next time. Goodbye.